and welcome to today's webinar on full tech stack for retail brokers. My name is Marcus from Tulsa Brokers London office. And for those who don't know, Tulsa Brokers are an international software provider with a kind of wide range of operational tools for retail brokers, prop firms, and hedge funds, such as execution and feeding tech, the kind of supporting hosting and infrastructure, as well as some more specific risk and automation software. We have over 200 broker clients from 40 different countries and provide more than 25 different solutions as part of the ecosystem. So the main focus for today is how these solutions kind of combined with others from third parties can be best used, best utilized, best integrated as part of a fully integrated and connected technology stack. As for today's agenda, we'll cover the essential components of a broker's tech setup, kind of both in terms of what's needed to get started, and then what can and should be added along the way. So this is starting from kind of at launch, the minimum viable product of what's needed to get started, all the way to how to optimize a kind of fully fledged cross-server multi-platform brokerage setup. Um, Also how to build a integrated ecosystem of tech rather than just kind of picking up individual pieces here and then and hoping that everything works well together. And as well as this, we'll also look at some kind of what we see from our experience as real examples of the most common pitfalls and what can be done to proactively prevent these from happening. So yeah, why is this topic important? So besides the more obvious fact that kind of for all electronic trading companies, they're very dependent on the technology that they have that supports it. We often see that brokers wait for issues to emerge before they start looking for solutions, meaning that their setup is often just a combination of individual pieces rather than a fully integrated system. We also see that issues often grow correlated with volume and they bring new challenges. So if we can start off with the right setup, scaling becomes more of a kind of a commercial business topic rather than ever being held back by the technology that supports it. So if we're able to design things in a way that automates all of the important and unnecessary manual processes, while still allowing us to control risk, respond to risk as they pop up. We can provide a tech environment that doesn't just support growth, but it empowers it long term. So as long as we have this solid base, we're just going to be making small adjustments based on different regulation changes, different client preferences, rather than having to kind of strip out the whole plumbing at any point going forward. So what are the important bits of tech at play here? So if we look at this in order from a trader's perspective, it starts with the client-facing tech and the client management tech. So this is things such as the CRM. The main importance for this is the client experience, the client onboarding, and the payment side. So accepting deposits, accepting withdrawals. This is integrated with the trading platform directly, just to automate the whole onboarding process as much as possible, usually done by some kind of manager's API. Next, we have the core trading infrastructure. So this consists of the trading platform, the liquidity bridge, and the liquidity. Of course, the best trading platform for each company depends on the individual case, but the setup is broadly the same for each. The bridge and liquidity are kind of plugged in on the other side in order to execute the trades and provide like the A and B book management and just other general risk management. The best practice is usually to host the servers for everything, both near your main client base and near the other parts. So to have the trading platform, the bridge, and the liquidity as near to each other as possible, ideally in the same data center. But we'll discuss this in more detail, kind of how to best optimize this as your trader base and the number of servers or number of trading platforms you have grow in size. Then we have the more compliance side or reg tech. This is just basically anything back office that helps with the reporting, the monitoring, or just anything in general that helps with identifying risks in real time. And lastly is kind of the uh, add-ons, plugins, and extensions. These are usually on an individual basis, so based on the broker's goals, based on their client demand, and what their traders are looking to add. So these include things that are there to attract clients, so like copy trading, PAM systems, bonus systems. Also, would include risk management tools, so based on the risk management strategy of your company, as well as tools that automate key processes. So starting from the beginning, often we get brokers come to us as startups, and they're wondering what they need to get started. Most commonly here, we see that the goals are to keep things simple, to get to market quickly, and to kind of control and manage some basic risks. This usually involves technology such as the CRM. So in order to onboard the clients, accept the payments, the trading platform. In this case, for startups, it might make sense to consider a white label in order to keep the initial costs down, and to have a bit more support in terms of the like admin level side of managing a trading platform. And then the bridge and the liquidity in order to execute the trades, hedge some of the trades, and to run some of this basic risk management. I'd say if we're trying to keep things thin, this is really the minimum viable product. It's more important at this stage to kind of get to market, uh, have the infrastructure to scale, and then later consider adding more specific things. But in terms of the minimum you need to get started, this would cover that. Then we have the kind of mid-sized broker. So as you do scale, new things become important. So as volume grows, you need to both be able to support this from a risk perspective, and a technology perspective. This is often a good time to look into adding more depth to your risk strategy. So things like new dealing functions, or tiered leverage, for example. Tiered leverage can help protect you from a specific risk of when a client is to open a position with both high leverage and large positions, which can wipe out your book. So if we dynamically adjust this based on position size, it's just a tool you can use to protect yourself from this very common risk we see. Uh, I think now as well, it makes sense to start looking into having a better understanding of your current client base, and your current book. It's important to utilize your bridge here to better understand your exposure, find better opportunities to hedge, and make sure that you're kind of extracting the most value out of your existing flow. Because in the early stages, it makes sense to just focus on the client acquisition side of things. But once you've built up a solid book of clients, there's um, many things you can do with your existing flow in order to manage the risk better, um, get more value out of it. Then we have the more established brokers. So I think at this point, the main goal is just to optimize efficiency in terms of all processes, some from the execution, from the risk side, from the just entire tech infrastructure. At this point, we're often looking at a cross-server setup. So kind of using multiple servers, multiple trading platforms, multiple liquidity providers, or all of the above. It's important to bring in central monitoring at this point. So we believe that a liquidity bridge serves the best tool here because it's the connecting piece between the liquidity providers, all of your trading platforms. So you can use the bridge as a tool to get real-time risk updates on all of your trading platforms, and all of your LPs. At this point now, because you have the kind of the luxury of having multiple platforms, multiple LPs, we can start to utilize both backups and failovers for extra protection and extra stability. These can be, yeah, both for the hosting, for the platform, for the liquidity side. So you can kind of use that luxury of having these multiple providers in order to ensure that there's never any downtime, even when there's an issue with just one individual part of the system. Now it should also be a priority to automate kind of important processes that you're currently doing manually, just in order to um, save time, lead to less errors. So this can include things such as swap management, so both on a symbol level and on a, say, if you're offering swap-free accounts, if you're operating within that region, how you handle your leverage, and then kind of your risk management in terms of fixing negative balance, stopping out the accounts. I think now it also makes sense to optimize kind of where your servers are located and the memory usage both on the platforms. So where possible, if we can unload from particularly the older platforms like an MT4, where we by doing things such as like archiving accounts, sorry, cleaning up the .dat files on the server. If you have scope to do this, I think it makes sense to just to clean up the server, ensure there's less chance of issues. Same with the hosting locations. So not just in terms of server size, but also the data centers where they're hosted. If you can upgrade to servers that um, support your additional load at this point, if they're maybe cross-connected to your liquidity providers, these are all small things we can do to optimize the execution on the within your broker, which of course just leads to better execution, happier clients. In terms of the most common kind of tech side bottlenecks we see that delay operations and limit growth, the first one is systems not being able to deal with the volume spikes within the platform. Um, it's important that your infrastructure is ready for the kind of peak times, those times around news where trading activity is so much higher, and not just the kind of average usual day to day. So this is both in terms of whether the servers can support it itself, but also in terms of how we manage risks. It's very important to be able to quickly adjust and be ready for these spikes in trading activity. I think good execution tech allows you to both react quickly by changing things like the spreads, the book where the trades are execute, and better manage your margin on the liquidity providers. Um, Similarly, in terms of latency, just because there's high trading activity doesn't mean the execution should get worse in any way. If we make sure the server capacity is sufficient, and if we utilize things such as aggregation to send those trades to multiple sources, we can make sure that the trading is working perfectly at all times. Another common one is poor integration between systems. So if all of the parts of your tech aren't properly communicating, and we're doing these tasks manually, and they're always waiting for approval, the time it takes to onboard clients can be slower, and then of course so can the growth of your brokerage. The best example here would be between the CRM and the PAM system. So these systems can be API integrated. So if we do this, it means that the whole workflow, so starting from the deposits to connecting the money managers, the creating of accounts, this whole experience can be automated. So for the client, there's just a higher onboarding rate, and the whole process is smoother. So by operational bottlenecks here, what I mean is just cases where the demand exceeds the capacity. We've had cases in the past where clients were manually charging swaps, manually adjusting the leverage, manually fixing on the account in order to allow the client to deposit again, or say manually adding credit on the account. I think all of this is time taken away from the hours a client can be trading, which is kind of not only bad for the client's experience, but also the revenue of the company. We don't want the growth at all to be limited by the size of your team or the number of hours in a day, because it really doesn't need to be. All of these processes, there's pre-existing tools out there that can automate these and handle it stress-free. So I think the times you can automate these processes, it often makes sense to. In terms of business growth, so we see commonly that brokers get locked into like long-term contracts with inflexible providers. So in the case like new regulation comes in or the licensing for a trading platform changes, or kind of may, for example, within the prop trading space, new ways of acquiring clients come through. If your tech provider has you in a long-term contract and is very inflexible here, it's very difficult to adjust to the change in market demands or regulatory requirements. So we see this all too common. I think if you can get a provider that is flexible in terms of trading platforms, in terms of how you can structure your tech, it just best set for long-term growth. Also, I think being ready for change is crucial. So we can think of this in terms of both like short-term change and long-term change. The more long-term change is more those like exogenous things that you can plan for a bit, but often you're having to respond to. So these are things like client preferences changing, new regulation. And the short-term changes are more just changes within the market itself that you need to be ready for. And I think your technology needs to be prepared for both. For the first one, so those like regulatory client preference changes, it needs to be easy to add new parts or make changes based on what the market is demanding. So that might be a new trading platform, a new asset class. Yeah, I think for both your tech provider, particularly your bridge provider here, needs to be able to operate on multiple trading platforms at the same time. And it needs to be easy to add new liquidity providers or price feeds in order to support these new asset classes. The short-term market changes, it's kind of crucial to be able to pick up on these changes. So be made aware of them in real time and be able to respond to them immediately. We design our solutions with this in mind. So, for example, within Trade Processor, there's inbuilt risk detection and exposure analysis. So you can be made aware of these changes and respond immediately to them. Going back to the earlier point on synergies and integrations, we often see that a integrated ecosystem performs better than kind of individual and isolated solutions. So I think that compatibility between parts is very important. Similarly, here, the most obvious example we see is between a broker's CRM and their PAM system. If you're able to fully integrate the two, the whole client experience can be automated and doesn't need manual approval for any of the operations. So starting from the initial sign up to the deposits within the system, all the way to the disconnection from money managers. The smoother and quicker we can onboard both the end clients and the money managers, the better it is for all parties involved. So both the broker and the client. Because of this is why we place such an emphasis on making this process as straightforward as possible, with the easy API documentation and the integration guides. Another thing we see is that successful brokers utilize all of their tech together, um, not just individually, in order to profile their clients. So information can be gathered on clients' trading behavior, their preferences, their risk tolerance, from sources such as the bridge or the trading platform. Then using this information, clients can be grouped. So we have a specific tool for this in our brokerage business intelligence that can be used for this exact purpose. So once the clients are grouped based on their behaviors, based on their preferences, a broker can send targeted marketing and product offerings to them in order to encourage them to deposit more, to trade more, whatever the kind of main end goal is here. I think the same grouping can be beneficial on a risk level and on execution level, because group clients are easier to manage, kind of especially when you know which behaviors you're looking to catch. For example, a lot of our clients often want to know who their high frequency trading clients are. So we can catch this using the bridge and then take the necessary actions to respond to it. So whether that be changing the book the trades are executed on, or switching to a liquidity provider that's more accepting of this flow, really depends on the end goal for you here. So yeah, just in kind of to sum up the key points from today, most of the challenges we see that brokers face are often the same. So kind of there's things we see that emerge almost all the time. But it's important to know that these things are common, but there's solutions out there for them. So whether that's things that you can automate, whether that's specific functions within your existing tech stack you can use, these challenges are common, but we do have existing solutions for them. The second thing is that fragmented systems do slow down growth. So where we can utilize API integrations in order to make the parts work together quicker, where we can ensure compatibility between all of the tech we use, it just leads to less issues, smoother experience, and just better conditions in order to scale. Also, as you've probably learned from today, we're quite big believers in automation. So where it is possible to automate something that is currently a manual process, it's often less risky and more efficient to do so. So automation should be utilized as much as possible. And I think the key takeaway from today is that the right tech stack is a advantage. So if you can have a setup that provides the best execution, uh, manages risks in the best way, this can lead to happier clients. It can make your company more profitable, and it can support growth better going forward. So yeah, no, I see we have a few questions from the registrations, but if anyone has any questions of their own, feel free to write them in the chat as well. Okay, the first one is we're just launching. What are the absolute must-have components for our tech to stay lean? Yes, I think as I touched on earlier, the core things when you're getting started would be the client-facing tech, so the CRM, the trading platform, either a white label or a main label, and then the liquidity bridge um, and the liquidity. So you can probably, if you're running a market making broker, get away with just using a price feed. But I think if you're looking to kind of set yourself better up for long-term scalability, it makes sense to have a liquidity provider as well to at least have the option to hedge trades and send trades that way. You'd also need hosting for this infrastructure. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of the core basics of what you need. So we have a comment on the low latency execution. I think in terms of low latency, there's a few things here. So firstly, in terms of if you're looking to, so firstly, in terms of where the servers are located, so you want all of your infrastructure, so the platform, the liquidity, and the bridge, to be hosted both near each other and near where your clients are. So there's quite a few factors at play there. But if we are to, I think the light's gone on. Yeah, if we are to structure all of these hosting servers near each other, it really provides the best conditions for low execution. If low latency is kind of if you're looking for in terms of milliseconds rather than in terms of yeah, just milliseconds and getting the absolute best setup possible, you can also utilize cross connects between your liquidity provider and your bridge. I'd say that's really the optimal setup we can provide. But also in terms of offering the best execution, I think your tech provider here matters and your liquidity provider matters. So if you choose providers that are um, experienced in the market, been here for a long time, you know that these solutions are going to work, and the hosting is kind of just the additional thing we can do to optimize that fully. What are the main pieces of tech that help attract new clients? So I think that the classic ones here would be the copy trading, social trading, and the PAM systems. So all of these are basically ways to attract a different type of client. So if you assume that your kind of core client base that trades themselves, they care about good execution. If we can support that already, we want to look into finding new ways to attract new clients. So with PAM and copy trading, it just allows us to bring in a new type of client. So for example, those that aren't experienced trading or don't have much time and just want someone else to handle their money or to trade for them. Similarly, depending on the region, we can use things like swap-free accounts if you're looking to attract Islamic traders in certain regions. And we can also offer bonus systems in areas that allow it. I think each different geographical region has a different client preference and main thing they're looking to do. But yeah, I think overall as a credibility thing, like the best thing is that structure your tech to have the best execution possible. It's good for your brand and it's good for the client experience, and this just allows to organically attract clients as well. But yeah, depending on the region, I think the answer is slightly different here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think any more questions. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. If you have any more questions or like a more specific question, feel free to reach out to us on the details below. Myself or anyone from the team will be happy to provide more information, yeah, on help with whatever situation you're facing. So yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.